This is not a 1-minute reel. This is a video where I'm going to detail all the changes that is about to happen from 1st of November. It's because Marc Miller, the immigration minister, had made an announcement today, and I'm pretty sure by now many of you have already heard this news. And what I'm going to do in this particular video is to try and break this into simple capsules, that way you easily understand. And also I'm going to share my personal thoughts. It is just my thoughts on the proposed changes and how it's going to impact the immigration in the next coming months and the year, right? That's what I'm going to do now. I have the phone with me here, which explains the newsletter. I'm going to go through this point by point, just trying to understand it, and I'll be explaining it to you as well, right? I've already gone through this, to be very honest. I happen to see this, and let me go through each and every point. Let me quickly go to the facts, right? The first point here that's been mentioned is the proposed reduction of the temporary residents from 6.5% of Canada's total population to 5%. Basically, I believe what they mean by this is actually 1st of November, they are going to announce the targets for the next 3 years. Generally, in the month of November, October, November, they basically announce the immigration targets for the next 3 years, right? And this time, it is expected that the target for the upcoming year, 2025, 26 and 27, it's going to be slightly lesser. This year, the target was, I believe it was 500,000, right? And the coming year, they are going to reduce the target, which means less number of people are going to come in, which means less number of invitations will be given, which means the CRS score could go high, right? This is what the implication is, right? The second point says graduates from programs at public colleges will remain eligible for a postgraduate work permit of up to 3 years if they graduate from a field of study linked to occupations in long-term shortage. I'm reading from the website. Don't worry, I'll be sharing the link either in the comment section, or if you're watching it on YouTube, I'll pin it in the comment section so that you can also go through it whenever you're free. But this is quite uncertain statement, right? But from what I understand from this particular statement is graduates would be eligible for a 3-year work permit as long as they are study is linked to occupations in long-term shortage. What does mean by long-term shortage? I personally think they are talking about the in-demand category, right? So that is where they have shortage, and that is why they are actually trying to fill in people. Am I right? I personally believe they are talking about the in-demand category here. If you are someone who's doing a course, and if that course is linked to an occupation which is in demand in Canada, then I don't think so you will have any problems with getting a PGWP. In case if you are doing a course which is not linked to a occupation which is in demand in Canada at the moment, I am not sure how this is going to affect you, right? So this is really bothering. This is really, it really bothered me, and I'm pretty sure it would bother you as well in case if you are doing a program which is not in demand in Canada, right? So that might actually be a problem. The next thing is they are going to bring some changes to the PGWP. So after you come to Canada. When you come to Canada on a study permit, you are required to take a language test. Am I right? And after you complete your study here, and when you are trying to apply for a PGWP, now you will have to again take a language test to showcase your language expertise. They have given CLB 5 levels if you are doing a PG diploma program, and CLB 7 level if you are doing a master's, bachelor's or a PhD level program. These are not big levels. CLB 5 is definitely attainable. It's not very hard in order for you to attain, but this is definitely a headache. Why? Because you have to spend money again, right? They have not told us whether it is IELTS academic or IELTS general. So let's say if it is IELTS general, then good. You do a very good preparation, you give this test, you use it for your PGWP, and you use the same language test results for your application of PR as well. Great. But what if it is academic? Probably you will spend another $350 here. Again, you'll have to spend another $350 when you are trying to apply for your PR. This, I don't know why they have brought it, but my guess I personally believe the reason why they might be having this particular rule that they should appear for a language test and show that they have some language capabilities is because there is a very small group of people who have come to Canada on study permits, but their language is very bad. So we are really not sure how they came to Canada in the first place, but their language is very bad. They are finding it really hard to sustain here. I think this is just to filter those people out, right? So it's okay. If they want you to take and score a CLB 5, it's absolutely fine. I'm really glad that they didn't ask you for a CLB 9 for a PGWP, right? That's this particular point. And coming to the next point, 2025-2026 study limit intake cap will include masters and doctorals. What actually means by this is, if you are about to apply for a master's degree or a PhD degree, then you are not required to get something called as provisional attestation letter, PAL they call it, right? But now, if you are applying for a master's as well as PhD, you still have to get a PAL, and 12% is allocated for these two programs. That's what I understand from this one, right? And on 1st of January, the cost of living requirement for study permit applicants was updated to better reflect. This is an increase, which they increased it from, I believe it was 13,000. They increased it to $22,000 in the GIC, right? This is talking about that, right? So these are some of the changes that's been told. And there is some change that they mentioned about the spousal open work permits as well. Basically, what they are going to do is, in the future, if you are here as a student, right, only if you are taking a bachelor's degree, master's degree or a PhD, then you would be able to bring your spouse along, right? That's the proposed change, right? WP you will be able to avail only if you are doing a master's degree or a PhD or a bachelor's degree. So if you are doing a PGWP, then probably you might not be able to sponsor your spouse on a SOW. You cannot bring your spouse on a SOWP. This is another change that they are bringing, right? And I believe that if your application is already on, if you have already applied for a spouse open work permit, I think they should accept it and they should give you a spousal open work permit. But if you are planning to apply for a spousal open work permit after November 1, then probably these rules might actually apply. That's what we understand. A lot of things have happened here in today's announcement. Anytime, whenever Marc Miller goes ahead and he holds the mic, we get jitters, right? Because we really don't know what kind of change he's going to bring, right? But these are the changes that's been brought about now. The real concern is we are not seeing CEC draw, meaning there was supposed to be a CEC draw last week and we didn't have a CEC draw last week, which means whenever the draw happens next time, the score is definitely going to increase, right? I personally thought they would bring the scores down until that psychological mark of 500 or below 500, and then they would do this type of a thing where they pause a draw for one particular week and then they resume it after a couple of weeks. I thought this will happen once the score touches 499 or 498, right? But I'm really surprised to see at 507 they have paused the CEC draw for no reason. It might be because they don't have a lot of invitations to give till end of this year, so probably they are saving some to do it until December. We really don't know. We'll have to play the waiting game. We'll have to wait and watch. At the same time, another thing that's really concerning is the lack of STEM draw. We hardly had one draw, I believe. We really don't know when the next draw is going to happen, and there are a lot of people with a very good CRS score waiting for a STEM draw to happen. So we really don't know when that's going to happen as well. But that's pretty much it. I know it's a lengthier video than generally what I used to shoot. But yeah, I had to really decode and explain all these things in detail. Tell me what your thoughts are, and if you have any questions also, please put that on the comment section. I will try to make probably reels, or I'll try to share it on my stories. I'll try to respond to all your queries. Bye-bye.